And we are live. Hello, puppies, and welcome back to another episode of the Isle of Series. Tonight we are, and this is probably my fault. I'm very selfish. We're talking about more writing. Ha! None of you are probably surprised by now. Tonight's guest is actually going to be the author of the book Ghostly Legends, which has been redone and revamped and is now available on Amazon.
So good.
It is really good. But I would like to introduce onto the show tonight Mr. Lawrence Everett. Woo! Hello.
Hey. Thanks for having me here.
Thank you for coming on, man. Seriously. So are you ready for me to ambush you?
Sure. Shoot.
I know that I showed this little guy off here. And those are now available on Amazon, right? And it's they can find you through your Instagram and your YouTube, both under King of Comicdom, yeah?
Yeah. And then on my Facebook, just under me. And
right.
King of Comicdom.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you have both. Indeed.
Yeah.
So, okay. The first question then I have to start with, because I know this isn't the only thing you've written. When did you first start writing?
Really? That's the only thing I've ever written.
What? No, that's such a lie.
Probably 2001.
Right.
Because I started because a TV show come to our town. It was called The World's Scariest Places. And they was going over this, all of our legends. And so they was jacking everything up, making it larger than life, really larger than life. And so I decided that I would do something to set the record straight.
Ooh, okay.
And at least for our area anyway, because, but it went a little farther than that. But
right.
The main thing is I originally started it because I had a journalism class in college, because I went to college late. And we was keeping journals, but we wasn't allowed to keep anything about supernatural, any kind of, stuff like that, ghostly
weird.
stuff, whatever, because I that's just the rules that was laid down. So the first 3 or 4 chapter or stories in my first book was that, because I did it anyway. And I come off as a hero because I did it in such a way that I actually aced that project.
Right.
And then that crew come to town, and then I decided to go ahead and turn it into a book.
So was Ghostly Legends your first one then?
It was this Ghost Spirits and Legends of Southeastern Ohio. And it is a train wreck, but it's there. And it's no longer in print.
Aw, dang.
And it did so well. I don't know if I'm answering your questions or if you want to ask some more. But it did really well. It did really well. I mean, the Associated Press picked up on it. It went everywhere, did everything. I just got lucky. And lucky enough that it inspired me to write another one after that.
And so is Ghostly Legends the second or the third one that you did?
It would be the third one. It's a revision of these two right here.
Oh.
And it's got a lot of new stuff added in it.
Ooh, very nice.
And if you have the hardback, it's really got a lot of new stuff added in it. Right.
Just holds it up meaningfully.
But as far as I know, very few people have the hardback, because I haven't tried to do anything with it, because the retail on it is astronomical. And It really is, and I don't expect anybody to buy anything that I put out and pay more than 10
What?
or $12. It's
I don't
just too
know,
expensive.
man. What?
It's too expensive. I know about a half a dozen people that have the hard copy, and that's
Oh,
it.
so we're
So,
special. We are special, yes. um, so it was because the TV show had come into town that it got you to start writing about the legends in your local area. But you
mhm.
are also to a certain degree an investigator as well, right? Like you went out to all of these places and you've tried
Yeah,
to
yeah,
um
I was one of them, what do you call them guys on TV? Ghost hunters?
right.
I was one of them before that was popular.
Oh, okay. Before it was popular.
Yeah, because you never heard too much about it. And I
Right.
had I had my own little team, and we went out and researched everything, went to the places, seen stuff, didn't see stuff, whatever. And it was a lot of fun because we traveled all over Ohio,
Right.
and we tried to hit the unknown places that because all the popular ones are tourist traps.
Like
So
the insane asylums and museums and stuff like that.
right, see the real cool thing about our insane asylum is he wasn't allowed to be in there. But I just happened to work there when it was taken over by our university, so I got to go see everything and
Wow.
before it was ever renovated. So I kind of had an interesting trip through there and seen a lot of interesting things.
Dang. I was gonna say I didn't realize it was open at the time before the renovation. So I mean that's really cool that you got to get in there and see it all before it all changed.
Well, I was there when it was taken over because I
Right.
worked I worked for our local university when they took it over, so I went there. That was where I was assigned for, I don't know, a year maybe.
Right.
So yeah, I seen a lot of stuff before they moved it out. And no, I didn't see any crazy ghosts, by the way. Just crazy people.
um now have you I mean how many different places have you been because in ghostly legends I mean there's well over two dozen different eyewitness accounts that have been passed on to you and you had investigated several of the locations yourself, so how many places do you think you've been?
Wow, you have the count. I didn't even know that's how many was in there.
I, rough estimate. I mean, I did read through them all, and I mean, you just had so many witnesses from across the state that shared their story with you, and I know that you had gone and met with a lot of these people and gone out to the actual locations. Like, was it the Moonlit Tunnel? Am I saying that right?
Moonville
Moonville.
Tunnel.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that was one of them. It's a tourist attraction now,
Oh.
but when I went there, it was trains still run the tracks. The tracks was still there,
Oh wow.
so you could. It was really interesting, and it was really creepy in the tunnel at midnight.
Right.
But we might have created a legend ourselves when we was there.
How's that?
How so?
Well, it's supposed to be a lantern that you see walking, and people would pull over on the where the trestle was. Used to, they took the trestle out,
Right.
and people would pull over there. Kids to do their thing, whatever it is they wanted to do. And so my team consists of Charles Millhouse was one of them. And
Mm-hmm.
we was in the tunnel there, and I thought, oh, you know what? I just started shaking the flashlight like I was walking with a lantern, and boy, did they get out of there. So I might have created that a little bit and helped it along, but it sure was fun.
Oh my gosh. Now, I mean, you really didn't see anything when you went out to all these locations? Because I thought you had at least one
Um,
account where you
I
like caught
did, but
camera.
we caught something on film, and I don't know what it was. Could it have been a ghost? Could it have been an anomaly? But I know I took the film and had it analyzed and slowed way down, and nobody could explain what it was.
Well, there you go. I mean, if that's not at least credible, then I don't know what else is.
Well, like I said, I don't know if it's. I'm not going to say because I'm not going to judge that. I've seen stuff. I think it's in whatever you believe. You know
That's
what I'm
fair.
saying?
Yeah. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
absolutely.
because you know all kinds of things can happen, and
Right.
I don't want to admit that they do, and I don't want to admit they don't because I really don't know. I just know I was having a good time.
Right, absolutely. Well, and I mean, it's really interesting, especially because I am a sucker for like the eyewitness books and like collaborations from people who bring their stories forward and such, because for everyone it really is different. I mean, you have some investigators that are like, nope, doesn't exist, and they go on their way to prove that it doesn't exist. But then you have people that you would never ever meet who have had spooky encounters, or just something weird that they couldn't explain, and it's just like, yeah, you have all these haunted locations that become your tourist traps and your museums and such. But I find it fascinating when you hear from like the people that nobody would ever hear about.
Yeah,
um,
I agree. That's how I always tracked everything down. It's just networking with everybody because you can read about it all over the internet, but unless you talk to a few people that's actually been there and seen
experience.
something,
Yeah.
experienced it, then you're just reading. You're just reading it on the internet, and well, you're reading it in these books too. I mean,
Mhm.
my advice is if you like that stuff, go check it out.
Right.
I mean,
um
I'll be honest with you. Up until I started this way back in the day, you would never catch me anywhere around the cemetery because I always had this bad vibes about it. And
right.
when we started going hunting, I mean, we spent late nights in the cemetery. And you know what we seen? Not
Not a
much. It was very peaceful there.
Well, as it should be.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Right. um so speaking of group collaborations and accounts from different places and such, I wanted to ask you what had inspired you to create Tales of the Weird and Strange. I know, here. Can I have that, please? Thank you. I finally got my copies, guys. It happened this week, finally. um but because I had heard from a friend on social media that you were looking for people to contribute to the story.
Hmm.
Um and then that's when we reached out. But what was the original, like, when did it come to your mind that you had wanted to do a project with different people?
Well, it started out as just a project I was going to do because I love the old pulp magazines, and that's kind of what that's styled like.
Right. Yeah.
And I started it, and I'm like, man, I want to get this out by Halloween. And my buddy Charles, he suggested that I reach out, and I did, and then it just evolved after that.
Right.
And the more I mean, when I reached out, it was like no problem for people to want to jump in and throw their 2 cents in.
Right.
And I think, in a sense, in doing that, it created something totally unexpected.
Right.
And
Yeah.
it kind of created and I think a lot of these anthologies do that, but I think it created a bond between all the people because you know probably 85% of the people I talk to at least once a week that's was part of this,
Right. Yeah.
and people I'd never talked to before in my life. And so I think it was something special that just manifested itself there.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if that really is looking the answer you're looking for, but That's the answer I got.
Now,
And you need to
what
change that screen down there because it's not famous. That's still to come.
Now, would you say that most of the people who reached out were people that you are like, because I know you said that a lot of people you had never spoken to before Tales of the Weird and Strange. Um, but was it kind of, did you like advertise that you were looking for people, or was it just kind of that a friend of a friend who reached out to want to contribute to the project?
Well, it originally started because my buddy Charles there, well, we used to do the Go-To Geeks, and he's a writer, and he just got on his Facebook account and reached out, and people started answering. So then I thought, I'm going to hit the comic book community because I know there's writers in the comic book community, and that's how it went. And then you guys found out, and I think the first person I asked was Metarog.
Oh, Roger, yeah.
Yeah, I asked him, and I was totally shocked that he agreed to do it.
Why were you shocked? Question mark, question mark.
Well, we're all comic collectors, and not everybody's into writing, and he agreed to do it, and I was like, wow, that's cool. I just, I didn't figure he would, but he did.
It's kind of fun when people surprise you like that, though, and
Mhm.
it's even why I created this channel, is because or not the channel, but the I Love show, is because it's like a lot of the stuff we don't know about our buddies in the comic book community. It's like, a lot of people don't know what the other does for like occupation, and some of them don't know, like, what they do in their free time or for hobbies other than, like the comic book aspect of it. And sorry. And I mean, it is really just a lot of fun, and I think that's why, just like, in general, group projects can be so much fun. And I want to throw out there real quick, thank you again for letting me contribute to Tales, because it has been just a journey and a lot of fun. So thank you. And Cade did get a feature into the book as well.
Fun fact time.
Okay.
Oh, are we doing this?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
like I was like mid-sentence, but okay, cool. Sweet.
All right. Eve. All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to BB 899's Fire Facts. So let's start it off with number one, as always, is that Lawrence's most favorite thing is Golden Age comics, which, yes, just yes. Number two is that Lawrence's most favorite food is pizza, which is just another yes. It's another yes. And number three is that Lawrence's favorite show is Star Trek, the original series, which, I mean, this is a record for me. That's a third yes. That is just a yes. It is good. All right, I'm gonna go watch some Star Trek.
Yeah, you understand that we're all going to be watching Star Trek, the original series, after tonight. It's my family, we all binge watch TV shows. That's probably going to be the next thing we binge. I'm not even going to lie. Okay. Cracks knuckles. Ow, that actually hurt. Okay, so now, in addition to the Tales of the Weird and Strange, you had actually created yourself the companion fun book, which was just kind of to, go along with the book, and just kind of as like a fun little what's the word I'm looking for? I know I'm trying to
talk about the fun.
Well, yeah. Now, what inspired this? Because you do draw, and art pieces had been put into the Tales of the Weird and Strange, but then this guy came along. Was this in the plan all along, or did it kind of develop as the Tales was being created?
Well, that was never a plan. I hate puzzle books. But I was trying to figure out what to do with the art that I drew besides wad it up and throw it away. And
Neat.
so back in the 70s, Marvel or Stan Lee put out a fun book.
Oh,
And it was
okay.
full of the characters from Marvel, with all kinds of twists and everything. And so somebody said I ought to do something like that. And I can't remember who suggested it. So I started doing it, and well, this is the result.
Right.
And
Hey.
it's yeah. And if I don't have much of this left either because everybody bought them up. So um and honestly, that's what inspired it. I mean, you was talking about somebody, and I actually, because I talked to him about every day and drove him nuts. So I thought he would deserve to have it dedicated to him.
Yes.
And I'm sure he got tired of hearing me whine and complain about this stuff, trying to get it doing this and doing that. So he was always there listening. So I thought, well, I'll do that.
Which is
And
really cool.
so that's what brought the fun book on. Just needed something else to do. And I'm going to be honest with you, I'll never do two projects back to back like that again.
A little bit stressful.
Yeah, it created a lot of problems.
Oh, geez. Well, because you did the fun book. Well, I mean, you had strung together everybody's stories and you had put them all together for
Hmm.
tales. But you did the fun book single handedly, correct?
Well, not necessarily. I mean, I had my niece go through some of the puzzles, and my wife went through some of the puzzles, and I built it single handedly,
Right.
and Chuck, he helped me get the cover down. And of course, I drew the original cover, but I had this an artist color it, and he tweaked it a little bit.
Right.
Which so but for the actual interior of building these puzzles, yeah, that was a real pain.
I'm sorry.
No,
No.
it was one of them good ones though, but it's not
Well,
something
because
I'm.
I mean, both turned out so amazing. And it's just kind of like a fun like addition because especially because like this one's like I mean even in the contrast in covers I mean you have like the dark spooky all the scary stories and then you have like the white light happy puzzle book. um
Well, you know, I figured if you did this on the back, everybody might get that. Hey, maybe you need to read this to do this.
right. I mean, well, and that's why it is like just the perfect companion book because it's like if you see one, it does lead you to the other. And, and it's just kind of like an addition to what you've read because I know that I'm not the only person when I say this, where it's like when you finish with a story, sometimes you can get really upset that it's over. And it's like, a companion book like this is just kind of like a fun way to like keep it going. It's like, yeah, you've read through the book, but now you have something else with like all the characters and stuff that you got to see. And I thought it was just a ton of fun, man. And I give you huge props for being able to put the whole thing together.
Well, I did use I don't somewhere here. I did use a certain character that was kind of created for this, and I'm pretty sure you've seen that.
Oh, let me pull it up. Oh, indeed. I know what you're talking about. Yes.
So, I mean, what was I going to do with the drawing I did? So that
Right.
that made sense just to do that kind of stuff. And
Oh.
I added some stuff that's coming around in the future too.
Ooh.
So
Little bit of plug because this Tails is not the only one.
no, no, no.
No, no.
There should be another one coming up. Um, yeah. Okay. Give me a second.
Okay.
Yeah, here's a prototype cover.
Ooh, sneak peek, folks, right here on the Life of Two YouTubers channel. All right, here, let me. Hiya. Oh, wow. The depth perception on that is amazing.
So that's the next one. If this one does any good and people like it.
Oh, I would imagine so. I mean, I started out with 50 copies this morning, and now I'm down to like what, 15, maybe
Oh yeah.
20, something along those lines.
I know how that is. Hey, and speaking of that comment you just brought up right there, that was an interesting scenario that the Yankee Southerner come up with, and we morphed it into where it's going to be like a reoccurring character,
Ooh, okay,
which was kind of cool. It was the story really got me, and I just kind of really enjoyed the concept behind it.
right.
So it'll probably be reappearing again.
Ooh, how did that come about? Just kind of like talking about it and thinking that
Yeah,
you
after I
wanted.
read it and stuff, and then we did a couple tweaks on it, but he did all the major work. And when we left it, I think we left it open enough that it could be like, say, an origin type story.
Right. Ooh.
That's what we was gunning for. I don't know if it worked out that way, but I think it did. So we're going to reuse it sometime soon.
Ooh, well now I'm excited.
But and that's the beauty about collaborations, because things can get created that somebody else creates, and then maybe you might suggest something else, and pretty soon you got a character.
Right. Well, and that's half the fun of being able to create it yourself. I mean, you can do whatever you want.
Well, yeah, that's true. And then again, it could never happen again, but I'm pretty sure it's going to.
um, ooh, Luke Bryson fans.
Who? I don't know him.
I've heard the name, but I haven't read any of his books.
Neither have I. Maybe I'll have to check one out.
Okay, with the last few minutes before we hit our hit our half hour mark, I wanted to turn it over briefly to you and lay it open for if you had any stories that had just come to your mind while creating the books. Kate. um just any stories that you had about researching any of the places for your stories in either ghostly legends or tales, anything that you've experienced, anything you want to throw out. It's up to you.
Not really, because I figure, that's why I'm putting them in books.
Oh, but come on, there's got to be an exclusive that nobody's heard.
There is, but I don't want to bring it up to right now, because I'm actually Ghostly Legends inspired something that's coming.
Ooh.
And
just the subtle hints, like, there you go, drop in the bucket. Stew on that, guys.
I suppose I could show something, but
Ooh,
I
okay.
really don't want to.
Well, that's okay then.
Well,
Don't.
then don't. If you don't want to.
Well,
I just
let me
threw it out there.
find it. I'll show one hint if I can find it.
I was just gonna say, if you had any, like,
Okay, I can't find it. Huh?
okay. No, I was just gonna say, because like I know I had brought up some of the spooky stories from all the locations that you had visited while putting together the first two books that had turned into Ghostly Legends. Just like that kind of stuff. Or if you had like if there's anything coming up on your channel, or if on any of your social media, just anything really that you would want to share.
I really don't know what comes up on my social media until I put it up.
Right.
That's kind of how
I,
mine too.
Yeah, I'd say that too. We'll look at something like, I literally looked at a styrofoam frame today and I was like, I have a post for this.
but there is a story in Ghostly Legends that inspired this World War II story that I'm writing a novel
Ooh.
on.
Ooh.
That's all I got to say about that.
And now, every fan in the audience must wait for official reveals later on in the year.
Yeah. Yeah, because I don't really want to go there yet because it's still. Oh, I will say that I drew the original concept cover, and Lance Footer is doing the actual coloring and tweaking it for me.
Oh, very nice.
So um, I don't know if anybody knows who he is, but he does some pretty amazing work. Most of these guys do, except for me.
Oh, quit it.
Quit it.
You're amazing.
No, no. Um,
Have you looked at the fun book, guys? Get the fun book and you'll know he's lying.
hey, how'd you like the no vowel word search?
Oh, I actually enjoyed that one. I agree with that. Okay. I actually just looked up at the clock. What?
Go. I'm
Oh.
still waiting.
No. I think with that though, I think we're good to wrap it up. We hit our official half-hour mark. Any last words? Why is that ominous and perfect both at the same time?
Well, yeah. Do you have any last questions?
I think I covered my bases actually. Do you have anything that you want to ask me or throw out or anything before we end the show?
Um, Not really. I mean, you know, marketing. I mean, literally, that's the only thing for anybody that does do anything that might be watching is just don't be afraid to go knock on the doors
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
because all they can do is shut it in your face or open it for you. It's two choices.
And that is so true. I mean, if I hadn't reached out, I mean, we would have never done Tails. I would have never contributed to Tails. So,
Right. But I've seen you pulled off some interesting marketing ploys and I not ploys, but you know what I mean, the videos and stuff like that, and that's what you got to do.
hey, the lovely entertainment at the same time as
Yeah,
advertising.
exactly. I mean, like the commission check thing. I mean, how was that, or something like that? When you,
The mysterious note popping into the hands after
yeah,
a quick clip.
you know, I never would have thought to do that. For, I never would have thought of that.
I have this one. I have this one to thank for that. Most of the ideas come from her brain. So
But I mean, I've seen some stuff. I mean, you know, I get on there and I just show everybody where my book's at. You get on there and you do something totally different.
it's the theatrical drama, the theatrical flair, darling.
There you go. Evidently, I don't have that. Or I do, but I don't think anybody wants to see me do it because it always involves a sledgehammer.
No, wait a minute.
Well, that's what his other channel used to be.
That's right. Okay, I was like, wait, I have not seen anything on the channel recently about sledgehammers.
Oh, you would be surprised of the devious things that goes through my mind.
Well, okay, see, then you do have marketing strategies.
Not really. I just go do it.
Right.
And who cares what people think? You got to go do it or you're not going to. I mean, you can set on your thumbs or you can just get out there. Because I know a lot of people, and I don't want to step on anybody's toes, but most of them rely on Facebook or whatever. And, you know, I think I'm trying to also prove a point that there's a lot more to it than that.
Right. Well, and there's a lot of hard work and dedication that goes into it as well. And it's like if it's your dream and you want to go for it, you know, it's worth putting in the time and the energy.
See, I'm not real sure that I dream of being successful at it. I'm just having fun.
Well, and I mean that is a huge part of it, is because if you're not having fun, then it really isn't worth it, you know.
Because I don't really care about the money. If I did this for money, and I'm going to take this from everybody that I met lately in the writing community, if you're doing it for money, you're doing it for the wrong reason, because you ain't going to make it.
Right.
You're going to starve. It's going to take a miracle and a lot of work to get you past that. So, but I'm really doing it for fun. I mean, putting everybody together to do the Tales of the Weird and Strange was like one of the greatest things I ever did.
Aw. No,
And
I'm right there with you. I mean, the reason why I write is to, distribute to others. I have fun writing it, and I enjoy knowing that other people enjoy reading it, you know.
but there's a lot of things that's come out of this that's yet to be revealed. But I think at the end, I think maybe we have something that somebody likes. I don't know. I hope.
Absolutely.
From what I'm
And
seeing of everything going out and not being able to have anything, evidently somebody likes it,
somebody's enjoying it, yeah.
because I can't even keep a copy for myself.
Yeah, no, I was shocked by how many copies we blew through today, like packaging up and sending out. I was like, oh my gosh, you guys.
And every store from my hometown to the next state south of me pretty much has it.
Indeed, indeed, which is really good.
I mean, I don't have enough to take any other stores. So they're going to have to just start ordering them.
I know. I'm like, I have 3 of my bookstores here in Colorado that are taking some. I'm like, okay, everybody else, hang on. I need to wait for my next package to come in.
And the fast, speedy shipment of this stuff is just so amazing.
Oh, it's incredible. I know. It's been the
It's
best.
like
it's ever been.
I love getting one copy of it when I need the 50 that I ordered.
I know. Mail service is struggling, guys. That's where we'll leave that.
Yeah, we're going to leave that there.
Thank you, everybody who came, and thank you to everybody who's been asking questions. And I know more and more spooky talk. I feel like we were just talking about ghosts on the the last show or a show before.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not blaming USPS. I'm blaming the printer.
Oh, right.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're all good. I mean, hey, clarification. We don't want to get like a strike or anything like that. But thank you to everybody who came. And Lawrence, thank you so much for hopping on the show and being willing to talk and share all the amazing things that you have done. We really, really appreciate it.
Well, thanks for having me on.
It's been fun. Thank you.
Yes, it has.
And I think with that, we will see you all later.